Hey everybody, it's Pastor Siri. I'm a Lutheran pastor and a spiritual seeker, and today I want to talk to you about the preparation I'm doing for walking a portion of the Camino de Santiago. Take a listen. Hey everybody, update. This is my first walk with my backpack, my real backpack. Hooray! In fact, most of what I'm wearing is the gear I'm going to wear at the Camino, except I haven't broken in my new shoes, which I did buy. So I'm really excited. We're on the way. Today's a 10-mile walk, a little over 10 miles. Got some hills in here, so I'm feeling pretty good about that. And it's the first time that I'm stopping to take a little snack break halfway through, because you get to do that on the Camino. You get to stop and take a snack, and so I hope that helps with my energy level. So, yay! Update. So several years ago, I really got into researching the Camino. I can't even tell you how it grabbed me. My dad had mentioned it years and years ago when he'd retired from being a pastor that it was something he wanted to do. And so it kind of stuck in the back of my head, but I honestly, he didn't do it and I kind of forgot about it. And then it popped up about 2.5 years ago in my consciousness again, and I got obsessed. I was researching, I was reading books, I knew I really, really wanted to do this. And I also took this fun online test of which Camino should you do. And because I only had about 2 weeks, because I'm still working, and I wanted to be alone, and I wanted beauty and mountains more than anything, the Camino Primitivo was what was offered to me. And I looked at the pictures, I looked at it, I'm like, yes, that's the one I want to do. Now, I live in Minnesota, which is a very flat place. And even though I exercise regularly, I knew that if I was going to be walking for 13 days in a row between 10 and 20 miles over mountains, I was going to have to do some training. And so in this video, I'm specifically going to be talking about the training that I've done to prepare for it. And then I will do a follow-up video about my Camino experience. And I'll let you know how effective that training was. But first of all, as is recommended, I did research on this, about 3-4 months, depending on how in shape you are, you definitely want to get to the point where you're walking regularly. So just walking every day, a couple miles. It's a great start. I also like weight training and I do yoga. And so one of the reasons why it's good to mix that in there is that it's going to keep you mobile, flexible, but also work different muscles that are going to be helpful overall to prevent injury. So injuries happen when a muscle or something gets overworked, or you do not have the support network around your body to be able to sustain it, to keep it stable, to hold on to it. And so if you're all of a sudden finding yourself in a situation where you're overworking and you're doing a lot of the same motion, you can kind of hurt yourself, or it could be too much, too fast, too soon, hurt yourself. And so having a well-rounded practice overall can be great for making sure your body stays strong and flexible and mobile. So that was my process. So I made sure throughout this process that I definitely got to the gym and did a weight training session about twice a week, and that I did yoga. I teach yoga once a week, and I would also do other yoga stretching here and there throughout the week as well. And then I tried to make sure that I walked 5 times a week. And every day would be great, but it doesn't always happen, right? So the way I did things is Monday, Friday, and Saturday are the days that I really had to do a lot of training. Okay, so those were the days that were like my high peaks. They were the ones where I would have the highest walk. Monday ended up being the big walk of the week. So maybe that was 5 miles, and then next week it was 6 miles, and the next week it was 8 miles. That was like my tent pole. And then Friday, Saturday were my supporting days where I'd do the next highest walk. And then the other days I just tried to get some miles in. And so this last week of training, for example, on Monday I did 15 miles, And then yesterday I did 11, and today I'm just about to head out and I'm going to do about a 9.7. So those were my biggest walks. And then the remaining walks during the week, I did about 5 miles. Now, I want to add one more thing in there. I mentioned that I live in Minnesota, which is not very mountainous. We do have some beautiful regional parks that have some hills in it. But one of the things I did at least once or twice a week is I would do what I called vertical work. I would go to the gym and I would bump up the incline, slowly bump it up, and try to see how long I could sustain a 10% incline and above. And you guys, this is what's so fun is like 6 months ago, a year ago, when I would go on the treadmill, I would bump up to like a 10, maybe 11%, and I could stay there for like 1 minute, okay? And then I would be like winded and I'd have to slowly bring it down. This week, Thursday, I went to the gym and I did 5.5 miles on the treadmill, and I sustained a 10% and above, getting up to, I was at 15% incline, which is the highest that a treadmill can go, for 8 minutes. And I slowly brought myself down. So for 50 minutes, I was at a 10% or above. And that was so exciting to me. I came home so excited because that just shows you the progress that I was able to make in the last 4 months of intentionally doing vertical work, which means for an hour I was at 9 and above, which means my body has really gotten acclimated to being able to sustain an incline even here in Minnesota. So that's really what I wanted to share with you, and I would recommend. And if you are interested or have done the Camino and you have training tips to include in the comments below, having an intentional plan, I think, is a lot better than just like hoping for the best. I wanted to make sure that my body was in the best condition my time allowed it to be before I headed out, and I will be leaving in 2 days. So this is my final walk, and Monday I'm probably going to do my last weight training class. Yeah, and then I'm going to get on the plane and I'm going to go. So that's what I have, and I just want to end by saying I'm doing this because I do love being in nature. I love hiking. I love the physicalness of it. I love how my body feels. But ultimately, this is a spiritual pilgrimage for me. I want to be alone with my thoughts, with God. I want to be praying. I want to be channeling. I want to be communicating with God and with my spirit guides and whoever shows up in a good and beautiful way, so that I come back with new insight about myself and about the world, which is what a pilgrimage really is. So it's the journey, not the destination. And I'm very excited for it, and I'll tell you about it when I'm back. Bye-bye.